everybody, this is No More Heroes 3.
Hello.
In this game, you play as Travis Touchdown, and you are trying to assassinate all the aliens that are invading Earth.
Okay. Is it supposed to be like a movie? Because it's all
So this level that I'm in
shrouded in this kind of like, not quite sepia, but it's got some kind of like filter going on.
So this level's kind of sort of a parody of Call of Duty. That's why it's got this whole filter and everything's very brown and
Yeah,
gray.
it's got a lot of...
Yeah, and it's all, everything's all...
Well, and it even looks like there's...
This level's literally, or this area is literally called Call of Battle.
Ah.
So.
It also has like, I can't remember if that's called...
Vignetting?
No. When the colors, when the color channels are like slightly separated, like they don't line up perfectly, so you get a little bit of that visual blur that like CRTs do.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a little bit of that going on. Is that delacing or inner? Whatever. So yeah, now it looks cleaned up.
Yeah, when you get into an actual fight, it goes away. It's literally just the overworld that it's got that. It's just for that open world.
Okay, so you're going to have to explain. I don't know anything about this game, but I know that you and JT have talked about it multiple times.
JT hates this game.
What?
Yes.
Shut the fuck up. It's a Muso type. Not really, but he likes games where you fight.
So his thing was, and he'd kind of spooked me off it for a while because I fucking love No More Heroes. I need to replay it, but I was not a big fan of Travis Strikes Back, largely because the gameplay for it...
Is that 2?
It's completely different. Technically, that's the third game, even though this is No More Heroes 3. It went No More Heroes 1, No More Heroes 2, then Travis Strikes Back, and then this.
Okay.
And this was teased at the end of Travis Strikes Back.
Got it.
And by teased, I don't mean like, oh, there was a little story thing that showed that there was going to be a third one. No, it literally shows like a test room, and it starts to act like it's going to let you play No More Heroes 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then Travis literally turns around and goes, hey, you're not supposed to be here yet. And then the whole thing just ends, and it kicks you out.
Okay.
It's... So in this particular game, aliens have shown up and are trying to take over the world, and they have their little intergalactic rankings. And Travis is the one guy that can actually murder them properly. So that's the whole bit. The thing is, with all the No More Heroes games, or rather with 1, 2, and 3, all the numbered No More Heroes games, there is the United Assassin Association, the UAA, and there is an actual like ranking of the best assassins in the world. And to challenge them, you have to get enough money to make it into the fight, like the prerequisite fight, which gives you a reason to run around and do various chores and things, or just get into fights like this. And raise enough money to do the actual fight, and then when you beat them, you take their ranking, and it just goes on and so forth. I can understand why this game had criticism from some people. I can understand some of JT's criticism. His main thing is that he felt that you spent too much time in the overworld. Having now played through this game, I think that he may have I don't want to say that he played it wrong, but I think that he did way more of the like non-fighting stuff, which you do not have to do. It's very optional.
JT, I hope you're listening to this because
for me,
you played it wrong.
This is the fighting. This is the best the like actual
combat has been
ever been, in my opinion. Yeah, I love it. But I can also understand why, because there is some changes to where it's almost too fluid.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand, like, I don't think it is, but I can see where, like, if you preferred the difficulty of the first 2 games, that some people might have an issue with it, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel like the overworld's not that big of an issue, that you can really, like, get through it pretty quick and get where you need to go. I don't know. The biggest change from this to the others is that, like, the others would have levels, like actual... Here's what I think JT didn't like about it, now that I'm trying to articulate.
Kind of walking it through, yeah.
Yeah, so it's the fact that they don't have levels anymore. They just have these open worlds parts.
Got it.
And when you go to fight one of the assassins now, instead of there being a level that you go through and then you get to the boss fight, you just go straight into the fight.
Okay.
And I think that's the part that JT didn't like. And when I first started, I didn't like it either. But then I played it a little bit more, and if you fall into the category that I do, where I love the combat, so I'm totally cool with just going to different locations and just getting into fights, and just doing that over and over again, then it's really not a big deal. However, I think that if you are kind of on JT's end, where you liked the different weird levels that it would take you through, because there are some really cool set pieces in all three of the technically first three games. Like even Travis Strikes Back, I'm not going to front there. There's some cool shit in that game.
Sure.
And I need to replay it. I need to give it another chance. But you don't quite get that as much here because it's just the fights. Like, good example, right? There is, I guess there's technically one in this too, but there's like a whole like horror level in the second game, where like you're kind of fighting people that are dressed up as like ghosts and monsters and shit like that, and then basically just different locations for you to go to, that makes it, I guess, more interesting and a little more diverse than what it is in this game. But if you're, like I said, like me, and you're just ultimately entertained by the actual combat itself, and that's enough for you, then this is like perfect. But if you want some variety to your levels, then this might not tickle your fancy as much.
All right. Can I ask you a question real quick before I go any deeper into this? Because I want to know more.
What's that?
But at the same time, I want to make sure. I know the audio's going. Is the video going too?
It should be, but let me double check.
I just want to make sure. Because usually you have it on the other screen.
Yes, it is.
Beautiful.
All right,
guys, we got all that. So that's great. Okay, so that's your explanation of
why some people might might not like this game. I'm just a big fan of the series, and I fucking love Travis. Travis is
that this character then?
Yes,
okay.
Travis Touchdown. He is one of my favorite video game characters because he is, I don't want to say he's like Ash, because he's not.
Yeah.
But the similarity there is that Ash is very, very selfish. We talked about this in our Evil Dead episode. Ashley Williams from Evil Dead. He's an interesting character because he is very self-centered. He's very full of himself. And he, until, towards the end of Army of Darkness, he doesn't really give a fuck about anybody.
Yeah.
And he becomes slightly less interesting when he does.
Yes.
Travis is similar in the sense that he doesn't give a fuck about anybody but himself. And that never changes. The only reason why he is motivated to do things, especially in the first two games, not so much in this one, but in the first two, is to get laid. Like, that is his entire thing.
Fantastic.
He is a loser. He is an absolute loser. And it's funny because the whole reason that he has the beam katana in the first place is that he fucking bought it while drunk off eBay one night with the last of his money. And then just decided, I guess I'll be an assassin for fun. And it turns out he's highly talented. He's really strong. He's really good at it. but he's still an otaku loser. Like, you go to his apartment and there's all these like figurines and anime shit all over the place, and like it very distinctly makes a point of like, this man is not employed. He just wanders off and does whatever the hell he wants, and most of the time he is motivated either because he's irritated or because he wants to get laid. And like, he ultimately does in the second one. Spoilers. So it's not really a motivation in this one. But it's just really funny to have, like, you know, what's supposed to be the ultimate badass character, and he thinks he's the ultimate badass character, but he's just kind of a dweeb.
Yeah.
And it's funny because of that. One of my favorite details, it happens a few different times in this game, but mainly when it happens in the first, there is one boss that you start up and it looks like it's going to be this giant, epic, crazy fight, right? And then someone else shows up and kills the boss instead. And you still get the ranking. You still get credit for it. Travis is fucking irate. Like, he starts swearing the fuck out of the mystery person and is so angry.
Yeah.
That he didn't get to kill the person. Not for any sense of, like, honor, nothing like that. It's just, I did all this work of getting the money. I wanted to murder this person, and I didn't get the opportunity to.
Yeah.
And that angers me. And it's shit like that that just cracks me up with him.
This whole, like, pixel UI thing going on, does this happen in all of the games?
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much. It's
very bombastic and in your face and shit.
This is definitely the one that's done it the most.
Okay.
Compared to all the others.
Do you have to jerk off your sword to recharge
Yes.
the batteries? Okay.
That was, so this original version of this game was on the Wii. It had motion controls, and that is how you would do it. And
okay.
in those games, whenever you would go to charge your sword, you were stationary and you were very vulnerable. And the big thing they added into this one is that you're able to at least move around a little bit.
Got it. Can you still, this isn't on Switch, is it?
Yes, it is. It was on Switch before it was on anything else.
Wow. Okay.
All the No More Heroes games, all 4 of them are on Switch.
Okay. So is this, did they change that though, or can you still use the motion controls to jack off your sword?
You can still use the motion controls.
All right, cool. Interesting. I don't know. The UI is a bit loud for me, so I don't know if I'd like this one, but I feel like I could.
I think you would
I could at
fuck
least
with
get
the
into
first,
the. I could at least
least
get into the combat. It looks like.
The thing is, though, is it
only like one? Is it kind of like Arkham, where it's kind of your combos are based on rhythmic inputs as opposed to like actual combinations, or?
Kind of, sorta.
Okay.
Like, you don't have to. You can basically alternate between like your heavy and light attack kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Damn, shit.
Because I mean, this again, combat wise, this looks like something I'd fuck with.
I keep hitting the wrong shit. Damn.
And then you said so in the first one, there is an overworld, but it's all mission based.
So there is a overworld in the first one.
Okay.
It is very. It's very much a open world that was on the Wii in 2007, 2008, whenever it first came out.
Okay.
There's stuff to do, but it's a little cumbersome and kind of unnecessary. But it's not like a huge open world, right? Like,
sure.
it's not going to take you that long to get around places. But it's also just like the second game, they got rid of it entirely and just had it as like a menu thing. This one, they brought it back and added multiple, but they also kind of improved the driving a little bit because you got.
Yeah, I love your Akira trike, basically.
Yeah, so about that.
Oh, is that a thing? This is a thing. Oh, he can do it.
Yep, on command.
Yeah.
And then you just. And it's actually useful because if you want to take a turn real quick, you just. Boom.
Yep.
Of course, that was on a curve, so it didn't let
I had a feeling making a bike look like that would probably be just like shamelessly, yeah, we're going to do it.
Yeah, not even just we're going to do it.
Well, because
we're going to do it on command.
Yeah, it even looks like it's got the stickers from the film bike as well.
Yeah, this... Oops. I was trying to get him, but I was...
Did he kill you?
Too hot. Nah, it's... So these are like little collectible things, and if you don't sneak up on them, because they're scorpions, they'll just pop you. Saving in all the No More Heroes games requires you to take a dump, and this is one of the save points that I have not cleaned yet. I don't know why it falls to you to clean them, but whatever.
So cleaning the toilet is a mini game?
Yes, it is.
Hell yeah.
So we're going to do it real quick. It's great. There we go.
Fuck yeah. Also, that's the nicest outhouse I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Can I get one of those?
For real.
So when you save, does it actually show you sitting on the pooper?
Oh, I'm about to show you.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's the goofy kind of humor that these games have.
Sure.
Where it doesn't take... Like, there's definitely some parts in the second one that it takes some pretty serious turns, but I mean overall it's a pretty jokey series. But yeah, you were mentioning the reference to Akira with the motorcycles. This game actually just will flat out like name drop certain things because it's just like, yeah, all this stuff, all this nerd shit that Travis would be into, yeah, this just exists. It's
sure.
Fine, whatever. So they talk about a lot of like Miike, or I'm gonna say it wrong. I think it's Takeshi Miike films.
Sure.
It's like one of the big prolific Japanese directors. I know I've seen. He did Dead or Alive, I want to say. I don't know if you've ever seen that. That movie is fucking wild.
I don't know if I have. I don't think I have.
Yeah, it's... But
when you say Dead or Alive, I just think of the
yeah, I know.
the booby physics game.
I know.
Sorry.
But...
Sorry, I'm a man of simple taste.
But, like, there's entire cutscenes where Travis and his best friend are just, like, talking about him and, like, the different movies and stuff that he has. Travis has always had this little cat named Gene, and for the first time ever, they have him talk, which is funny because up until this game, Gene was always a girl. And Travis even comments on that because the voice for Gene is super, super deep, and he's just like, oh, I always thought you were a girl. And the cat straight up says, like, what? No, I've always been able to talk, just haven't felt like it. And he's like, oh, well, are you going to be able to help me or something? Like, says something along the lines, and then Gene straight up says, come on, man. My level's at least at, like, Piccolo's. And what's funny is whenever they make references to stuff like that they do not have the copyright for, sometimes they'll do, like, a little faint, like, censor, like a beep, whenever they say the name. But every time in the captions, they'll put, like, an asterisk or two over the, like, name. So, like, when Gene says Piccolo, it's like P asterisk CC asterisk LO.
Yeah.
So like goofy stuff like that. Like this game does do references, but the way that it does it is so like goofy and corny. It actually talks about Kamen Rider or Kamen Rider, whichever. I fucking forget.
I always say common, but I think that might. I don't know. That's probably incorrect.
I think Kamen Rider's right. But yeah. He mentions that at one point because there's a fight that you go to that the character teleports you by accident to like this Japanese rock quarry that's used. Like I'm pretty sure. You've probably even seen it, and
it's used in a lot of those like
Yeah.
Sentai and Kamen and Metal Man shows. Yeah.
Yep, and he flat out says that. He starts nerding out about it. He's like, "Oh man, they did this in Kamen Rider Zero. Like,
Yeah.
I know this exact location." And the boss that you're fighting literally goes like, "I can't handle otaku talk. Can you just like stop?"
Shut
And he's like,
up.
"Oh yeah, that's fine."
I like. That's one of my favorite things about talking about, Mighty Morphin, because that was the first one that I was exposed to. A lot of
Sure.
people my age. But I always love talking about, when they go and they have the giant robot versus kaiju battle in downtown Angel Grove, which absolutely in no way is downtown Tokyo.
Not at all.
Not at all. There's definitely no business industrial district. It's. I mean, Angel Grove definitely has that. It's they got the cranes, they got the skyscrapers and shit. Definitely, the small college town of Angel Grove also has a huge warehouse district.
It's where they throw the raves, baby.
Right next to the rock quarry. That shit's so funny.
I will also say too that when I was younger, part of why I love Travis is that we've got the sound down a little bit just because he does repeat his voice lines a little bit.
Sure.
When you're just doing fights straight like this, but one of the big things he does is say fuck a lot, and so when I was younger, he's like, "Oh, this is this Wii game. He says fuck."
He says fuck on the game.
But I mean, I do love the fact that the one thing that's missing from this game, because you're fighting aliens, this is going to sound kind of fucked up. If you know the series, it makes sense. If you don't, it's going to sound fucked up. I know. But the aliens don't yell or talk, which is fine. Except in the other games, when you have this, like the execution moves, it's all like basically nameless, faceless, like goons, henchmen that you're fighting. And there is something a little more visceral to it whenever you're doing one of those fights. And when you go to do the execution, the guys yell.
Oh, okay.
And there's just a little something to it when Travis is like, "This is the end." The guy goes, "No help!" Whereas with these, that it doesn't happen. They just don't make noise, which is fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's not like an actual. It's a tiny nitpick. And by the way, I keep doing the wrestling moves because that automatically refills your power instantly.
I imagined. I think I saw that in one.
Do that.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I figured he was gonna get me.
So your katana, you referred to it by a name.
Beam Katana. I think it's
Beam Katana.
I think that one is Bloodberry, I want to say. That's the actual name of it. This game is, I think, the only one in the series that you only have one Beam Katana. That you can't get, like, you can upgrade it, but you can't get, like, others. There's no others to purchase. Because in the first and second game, and I don't remember, I think so in Travis Strikes Back, but I genuinely do not remember. In those games, you can get other upgraded beam katanas, and in the first, they all look not the same. Like the hilt is different, but ultimately it's the same kind of concept where it's just like a different kind of lightsaber, so to speak.
Sure.
Whereas in the second game, it's the same kind of deal, but he has multiples that you can like switch between in the middle of a fight.
Oh, cool.
And some of them work different. Like he's got two of them that are almost like, they're not quite nunchucks, but they're like a little shorter. They're red, and he gets two of them instead of just one. And it actually changes the way that Travis fights, and it's pretty cool.
Is it kind of like how, definitely in the Zero series, but even in the like last two X games, Zero gets basically different version of his Z sword, but there's like a lance, and then there's short daggers, and it even gives him like you're doing the same attacks, like you're still doing light heavy kind of shit, but yeah, you either get added range or you get like with his daggers you're just quicker with it, but they
might
don't
not hit as hard.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just
it's
like
that kind of stuff.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. I know I like almost always default to either Sonic or Mega Man, and that's just because that's my point of reference.
I mean, it works.
I don't have
though.
as much as you do, but
it works.
Yeah. It's funny, the beam katana. I know it's just like it's supposed to be kind of like your after imaging thing, but it almost looks like it's like 3 blades coming off of it.
Yeah.
But it also just reminds it also just looks to me like he's fucking beating the shit out of him with some of those halogen bulbs, like the mercury fucking bulbs from like warehouse lighting.
Yeah. Which is funny because in the first game, the like second best sword that you can get, it's very slow, but it essentially looks like that.
Yeah.
But it literally has 5 beams coming out of it. The better so the little meter there at the bottom, I forget what it's called in this one. I think it's got a different name, but in the other games, it's the ecstasy meter. And the idea is that the better you play, that's why he's got the multiple beams going on right now, because it's in the red.
Are you talking about the tiger thing in the bottom right?
Yeah, the tiger in the bottom right.
Got it.
The better that you play, the faster, stronger,
harder, better.
Yes, literally everything that Travis does. Like the better you play, the stronger he gets.
Got it.
And when it's red like that, that's why I've got the 4 things or the 5 things going on. But yeah, as you can see, whenever you fucking take
you went
damage,
back down.
Yeah,
got it. Okay,
it goes all the way back down to a little kitten, and it's just one beam right now.
Man, okay. Now I get it.
Yeah.
I see what you're stepping in. Oh, I'm hearing him talk now.
Done that.
Yeah.
That's because I'm using all those powers. I always do that. I set down. So there's 4 different powers that you get with the glove, which the glove is from Travis Strikes Back, which that's a whole thing in and of itself.
Sure.
But you have this drop kick that you can do, a area of effect that you sit down that will make any enemy that's in it slow, as well as this thing that will grab them and throw them. Just get out of here. I'm done with you. Anyway.
Dude, his like brass penis is still just on the screen, just stretching and moving. Warping between zones. Oh, there's that golem looking thing.
Yeah, but do I?
Golem?
No, I don't.
Golem or
Shit.
Gollum? Well, Gollum's the dude from Lord of the Rings. A golem is like a.
Oh, here we go. This is what I
thing.
need. No, not you. Where you at? There you are. There we go.
Yo.
This is what we want.
You're like a fucking oil spill. Yo.
So, I just want to beat the shit out of him while I can. Point being is that if I play somewhat smart, let's see if I can get something out of you.
The gold golem actually kind of is giving me
Nope, nothing. Fuck.
fucking, I think it was the movie Excalibur.
Real quick, this is what I was trying to do.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
set this, and then that's going to make him slower, and he's going to actually, as long as I keep him in this circle... Oh, I didn't deploy the slow. There we go. As long as he is in this circle, he's going to be taking damage.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, you were referring to a movie.
Oh, yeah. I think it's the movie Excalibur, which was like a, I want to say like 70s or 80s movie maybe. Basically about the Arthurian legend.
Right.
But there's like a final boss enemy or whatever, and he's got...
Go back. Come on. Back. Why is he stuck? Why is he stuck? Why are we... I'm literally stuck.
You are stuck, my friend.
Wow, that was bullshit.
Oh, no.
All right.
Oh, no.
I can beat this. I just need some fucking sushi. Return to motel.
Some snoo-snoo?
Oh, yeah, so here's what I was talking about with, like...
Nice, yeah.
And this is... He has multiple floors.
Love it.
In this game, which is also new. That's floor 2, and then floor 1 is a little more like... Here's Jean. Jean's a good kitty.
Jean's a big kitty.
Yeah, she is. And then you go downstairs, you go to the lab. Actually, how much? You should go to the lab. Upgrade.
Do some upgrading.
Yeah, do some upgrading real quick. And then I'm going to get some sushi, and then I'm going to go back and beat that one.
Get some sushi. Get some sushi. Power up machine. Oh. There you go. Power that shit up. Power that shit. Oh, fuck.
Editing Brett.
Yeah, what do you want me to do?
I want you to cut this part where I go pee.
Oh, he's got to go pee real quick.
I'm gonna go pee. I gotta pee really bad. I didn't think I did.
No, that's cool. Editing Brett, do something fun. Do something fun here. Cut out the pee. Cut to a statue of one of those peeing fountains.
Okay.
Welcome back to the show where the dudes play games and we talk about food that we had the night before.
It's not inaccurate.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Brett's friend Carson, where today we're going to be talking about the food that we had the night before.
Sponsored by NPR.
Sponsored by NPR and HelloFresh. Are you looking to spice up your game and you just don't know how to fucking cook? Don't worry, we do that for you now. You don't have to do a goddamn thing. Is the food good? It's mediocre at best. But you think you're going to be saving money on all the stuff at the grocery store. Mostly it's just time, because let's be real, nobody's got time to fucking cook anymore, myself included. So why don't you just go ahead and use my discount code so I can buy slightly more than you can. Anyway, welcome back. Piano jingle.
Did you hear? I shouldn't worry about dating a video.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at this point.
Did you hear about the honey scandal that's been
I've heard a little
recently?
Yeah, I've heard a little bit about it. Like it doesn't concern me all that much. I don't really again, it's kind of, let's go back to the Indiana Jones episode. Like there's so much to know about that I don't fucking care. I'm trying not to care about things that don't impact me or concern me in terms of like there's stuff that, like, you know, on a larger global scale that I do care about that I think is important. The honey scandal, not as much, but I just by proxy, because of, you know, recommendations and shit, I generally understand that there's a scam going on.
Honey has apparently always been a scam.
Yes, and I've heard that as much too.
I mean, it's I guess not the end of the world. I just thought it was really interesting.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
More than anything else. Like I'm not like up in arms about it. I never bothered to use honey.
No, same.
But so I'm going to guess that you don't know any of the details about it then.
So I know,
because it's not just, what makes it interesting is that it's not just the people that were using it that were getting scammed. The people that were promoting it also got scammed.
Right. So I know that part.
That's the aspect of it that really like interests me.
I don't know how the end user was getting scammed, but I know that the affiliates, the people that would, you know, promote it and say use my discount code or my affiliate link to get, you know, my kickback to me, what Honey was doing was basically deleting the code once you checked out, so that way the record says, oh, Honey gets 100% of this, not you. So I knew that much. How are the end users getting scammed, I guess? So
the idea is that it was supposed to, you know, the whole reason it exists is so you don't have to hunt
coupons and shit.
Yeah. So Honey had it set, or I guess still has it set. So one, not only does it not look for those codes, but Honey will actively partner with companies to only push the codes that said companies want them to push.
So it's kind of like a Disney movie theaters thing. Not quite the same, but you know what I mean. Where it's like a bit of manipulating the market, not controlling it, but manipulating it in your favor.
Kind of. It also just flat out, like, even in situations where that was not the case, it just would claim that there's no code, even though there's supposed to be one, or it would just like activate, like, the point is that people could find codes when Honey would say there was none.
Got it.
Like,
okay,
like
so
it purposely was not finding the best deals and not finding like extra discounts
because it was favoring the actual the partners that said we'll pay into Honey.
Basically, yeah.
So it's so like if Domino's is on Honey, but Pizza Hut is not, Honey is only going to show you Domino's coupons, and if you look for Pizza Hut, it's going to say, "Oh no, there's nothing available." But you can do your own diligence and find coupons for Pizza Hut that are honestly probably cheaper.
Basically, minus the part where it wouldn't show you shit for like Pizza Hut. Like, if you are working with Honey, then it's going to find codes, but it's going to find codes that are worse than what you could find on your own.
Got it. Okay.
To manipulate.
That's even worse.
That. Yeah, it's much worse.
Jesus fucking Christ, man.
And then basically if they weren't being partnered, then it was like, we'll make a half-hearted attempt to find you something.
Yeah,
but if they are partnered, it was
guess.
like, oh, you can completely control everything, that honey is like, because honey's whole thing is that it was supposed to be like, oh man, we're giving back to you, and we're cutting out, you know, the corporations and shit, and like all this stuff that they're trying to hide from you. We're gonna give it to you, like kind of thing. And that's not at all what it was. It was basically this whole scam of, we want to ensure that you aren't getting discounts, or if you are, they're ones that we have approved completely.
Yeah.
Kind of ordeal.
God, that's...
Yeah, it's very, very scummy.
We just continue down that rabbit hole of fucking, you know, again, it's the end goal of capitalism. You have to continue to make profit at the expense of everything else, because that's the only way it works. And you'll do it by means of, you know, just flat out manipulation over, you know, actual provide a better product.
For me, I just find it funny because, like, honey is one of those things, especially like in 2014 to like 2018, and they've been investigated before. That's the crazy thing.
Oh,
like,
really? I didn't know that.
That's one of the craziest parts. I think I forget which department it was, but there was legitimately a government investigation that looked in and basically said honey is fraud. We can confirm this. But prosecutors just didn't bother to try and pursue a case because they didn't feel that they could win it.
Sure.
Because of like the kind of gray area that it operates in. It just wouldn't be enough. And so, like, for me, the way that not for me, I shouldn't say for me. I don't know, I guess for me, whatever. The point is that I've just found it interesting because I very distinctly remember when honey, like, was first coming out and they were sponsoring like everybody.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like,
they were everywhere. I haven't seen them in a very long time, but I also don't really watch that kind of YouTube, I guess.
So that's the thing is one of the reasons why the lawsuit backed off is that they removed claims from their marketing. The way that they put it is that they removed these claims for business purposes, but it's pretty easier. Yeah. It's pretty obvious that it's like, oh, you're trying to skirt getting sued.
Sure.
Basically. And once that happened, it was kind of like, oh, okay, well, whatever. What's cracked me up though, what I'm kind of driving towards is the fact that, like, I remember all those ads, all those people, and how every single time it was, this is so easy. It's 2 clicks. It's 2 clicks. That's all it is. 2 clicks and you're going to save all this money.
Sure.
And I think about that, and I think about all the times I saw it, and I was too fucking lazy to do those 2 clicks, bro.
No.
I just was like, I don't want to do it. One of the crazy things about it, though, that people have been showing off is, you're probably not familiar with his content, but you probably know the name Markiplier, right? YouTube video game guy.
He's Deep Voice guy, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of Deep Voice guys on YouTube, but
I mean, like,
I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about.
So there's old clips from him from, like, if not a decade ago, almost a decade ago, where he's talking about honey, and people are like, why don't you do a honey sponsorship? Everyone's doing a honey sponsorship. And his whole thing was, I just don't trust it. He's like, I don't have any good reason. It's just, my gut has always told me if something is too good to be true, it is.
Yeah.
And he's like, I get bad feelings. I don't want to do it. So I'm not going to. And now people are, like, looking back on those clips and being like, damn, man, like, he fucking saw through that shit. Everybody else was on board.
Good for him.
And he was the one that was just like, this doesn't seem right, so I'm not going to take it. I don't want to take something that, like, I wouldn't use.
I know who he is now. It took me a second. I don't know why I was blanking, but yes, I think
I'm
sometimes
sure
he has glasses, sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I think I've caught him before on. I've maybe seen his videos like recommended. I don't know if I've never really like watched one in full, but
I've watched a few.
He's a bigger guy though, right?
Yeah,
he's huge.
He's pretty big.
Yeah.
I don't watch a ton of his content. I did years ago because it was like the only way that I could stomach fucking Five Nights at Freddy's was to just watch him play it.
Oh yeah, because he does a lot of the horror. More of his stuff is horror angle,
I don't know if he still does, but that was his big claim to fame forever. He was, I don't want to say like he was the reason, but I think he was kind of one of the first to really like grab Five Nights at Freddy's and be like, oh, there's something to this.
That was a big push for it.
Yeah, and like through his videos, it really snowballed and became this.
That
big
happens,
thing.
man. Yeah, for sure.
Which, like, hey, that's cool.
Yeah, totally. You know, people are going to start playing Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Emperor because of us.
Yeah, okay.
You watch, man. It's going to take off.
His content's really not something that's for me, typically.
Yeah.
But that being said, and again, this is just totally inside, you know...
Inside baseball.
Outside
baseball.
looking in. Outside looking in. I don't know. I don't know the guy personally.
Sure.
But he seems to me like one of the few that like actually seems like a genuinely good person. Like he...
That's good.
I don't ever see like you know, there's a lot of YouTubers and there's a lot of them I don't pay attention to. But there's like PewDiePie, right? I know his name, and it's not for good things.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
no, same. I like
you.
I couldn't tell you a single video that I've seen of his, but I know him more than my fourth cousin twice removed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, same. Like, and it's not for good reasons.
Sure. Yeah.
But whenever I, which is rare, but the few times I see like a Markiplier mention, or like even when I watch his videos, like. There is that level of like putting on a character or whatever, but like he doesn't seem as like which one was it? What happened? Okay.
We apologize for the slight interruption there, folks.
Yeah.
One of the cats was
you getting sick.
Coughing up a little bit, but I think we're maybe a little bit more. He's gonna be okay.
Anyway, I don't know. He seems like a nice guy.
And
he seems like good people.
I will say that too, because he does his videos solo, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like
at least all the ones that I've seen, at least. Which, granted, I couldn't tell you the last time I actually watched something of his.
Sure.
I think the last time I did, it was definitely for a Five Nights at Freddy's game because I can't stomach playing those games, and now I just don't care.
Yeah.
But there was one where, because like normally you're, at least, again, I feel like I'm so out of shit. Normally you're like stationary, but this one you actually like moved around the whole restaurant like yourself.
Oh, they've progressed.
Yeah, and I watched him play through it just because I was like, oh, this is interesting, and then like that was all I needed. That was all I fucking needed from that.
Gotcha.
And not because of him. I was just watching it and I was like, I would hate this.
Yeah.
Like, I would hate this. And not like it would be scary. It just looks super fucking annoying to play.
Yeah.
And like at first, I do remember watching it because at first he's kind of like, ah. And then like after he gets killed 3 or 4 times, he's like, all right, like, this is getting fucking annoying.
Sure.
And I appreciate that too, where like, he'll play up getting spooked and stuff, but once he hits the point of like, all right, this isn't scaring me anymore because I'm used to it, where he's just kind of like, all right, getting a little annoyed here.
No, I feel that. I was just gonna say my hat's off to him. I've not done it yet. I might do it for my other gaming channel for when my buddy goes on tour in the springtime. So I'm thinking about an idea of doing some solo videos just to kind of, fill up some time for us. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do it yet or not. It's just something I'm wrestling with.
Kicking around.
But that's the idea of it is kind of daunting. To just like hold a video with yourself like that.
Oh,
and
I
have
can't.
dialogue. It, like I get it in terms of like being able to just. It would be a lot more focused on the game itself, I guess, because a lot of the dialogue, like what you and I do and what Matt and I do, we honestly we talk about the games for sure, but then it kind of we have these different side avenues and back streets that we take that just lead to natural conversation because we approach this. I know we're putting on a show, as it were. But at the same time, we drop that curtain pretty quickly. Like we talk about the game and we have the whole like, welcome to Brett's friend Carson and all that jazz, the pomp and circumstance of it all. But we drop that veil pretty quickly and turn into just conversation. We're catching up on what we haven't talked about via text or whatever for the past month. At least for you and I, it's a month at a time. For Dale and I, it's a little bit more often every couple weeks or whatever. But yeah, it's being able to like hold that conversation, truly a single monologue, is a lot tougher than you give it credit for. And I think because it's easy to kind of just go into a stream of consciousness thing. Which I think, we all kind of do already when you just have like your inner monologues and stuff. But to do it on a recorded thing, I bet is pretty tough.
Well, that's the thing too, is like streaming, right?
Oh, when you're doing live, yeah.
Holy fuck! I there was a brief period
because you did that.
I did briefly when. It was after the pandemic started. I wouldn't say like 2021. Maybe it's 2020.
Sure.
I tried doing that. I tried doing it solo, and it's so hard. It's so fucking hard. And I know that part of it is like people will play off their chat and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
for
like,
sure.
Just in my very limited experience, it's where I don't know if we've talked about this on here. I know I've talked about it with other people on other streams. So fuck it, we'll just talk about it here. One thing that people have argued over is streaming harder than a normal job? And you hear that, and your gut reaction is no. Because that was my gut reaction.
Sure.
Of course not.
Yeah.
I'm in the camp now that if you stream full time for a living, even if you were making all this fucking money, like, yeah, there's some of them that, like, yeah, no, they're set. Like, they're not just streaming. Like, I forget the guy's name, but there's a guy that's like a streamer, and he's in like commercials for fucking T-Mobile with Snoop Dogg, and like he has Kevin Hart and all these people on his like fucking streams all the time.
No shit.
Like, he's the level of like, this is not like your normal someone that's making money off streaming, right?
Yeah. That's
like,
not
that's not a typical situation.
Who's the guy with blue hair? Ninja? Is that Ninja?
Oh fuck, is that guy even around anymore?
Is he not? I don't know.
I don't know.
That's how out of it we are.
I don't feel like I ever hear his name.
Got it.
I know that at one point, the big deal is that he went to like Mixer, which was like Microsoft's Twitch that they had for like a couple years there.
Oh.
And then they just kind of unceremoniously killed it out of nowhere.
Got it.
I think the last thing I heard is that he signed this big like multi-million-dollar contract to stream exclusively over there, and then I don't feel like I ever heard anything from him ever again.
Gotcha.
So like I don't even know, but like he would be kind of an example of that, where
sure.
like it's someone, because like he was on fucking not Dancing with the Stars. What's that? Masked Singer. He was on that Masked Singer show at one point.
Ninja
Like,
was?
Yeah.
I'm sure I could ask my wife. She watches
if you're
it.
on like a fucking cable show or commercial or some shit like that's different.
Yeah.
I say all that because I think that if you're one of those smaller types that you're able to stream full time, that's so much more stressful to me than a full-time job.
Dude, it really can be.
Because, here's the thing. Here's the way that I look at it, right?
Yeah.
Like, breaking it down. If I go into my job, which I don't do this. I'm a good employee. But if I wanted to go in and half-ass my job, I'm still going to have a job the next day.
Sure.
You know? Sure, if I half-ass it forever and I'm affecting the company to a state that it's affecting everybody, then yes, I could potentially get fired.
Yeah.
But one off day, unless it's a really bad day, you're not going to get fired for that.
No, I agree.
You have a off 10 minutes while streaming, if this is how you make your money, and that's just money flying out the fucking door.
Well, yeah.
Like, you have to be
people
on.
drop.
You have to be on constantly. And then you also have to be playing this video game, which already is going to take a decent amount of your mental capacity because you have to play well.
Yes.
You can't just half-ass it, or else people are going to say, what the fuck am I watching this for? This guy fucking sucks.
No,
Can't
totally.
stand it.
Totally.
So then they bail on you there. But then you also have to just entertain. You have to constantly be talking. Like, there is so much to it. The way that I look at it is, if you're streaming, you are in many ways doing the same job as like a radio DJ with a slightly different format and no luxury of commercials.
Correct.
Or music to cut to.
Correct.
You fucking put on a commercial, because you can do that in Twitch. You can run commercials. You'll get paid for it. And that's going to fucking just destroy your viewership.
Mm-hmm.
You run a commercial, people are just going to fucking drop like flies.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a terrible idea.
Because we don't the attention span for commercials is so small now, and that's why like I'll get to this after. I'm not gonna interrupt you anymore, but I think that's just part of it too. Is like, why watch a commercial when I can just easily go to another stream?
Exactly. And you're almost, in most cases, tempted to do so, because like if you're on YouTube, they're gonna have a recommended thing right at the side showing you other streams. Yeah,
you're gonna have either other streams playing the exact same game. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have that. Like, people, I mean, shit, I can't tell you how many times I just log onto YouTube and I'm trying to do this thing more now where I only go to my subscriptions tab, but sometimes I still don't, because on mobile I don't think I can save that. On desktop I can. My bookmark is just subscription, so I don't get distracted with stuff, with more noise or whatever. But yeah, any given day, I just can go to YouTube, and you know how many, like, multiple people are streaming like Sonic Adventure 2 all at the same time on the same day. And that's just YouTube. I can't imagine what it's like on Twitch, Like, a lot of people are doing this. And again, it's one of those things where it's like, it's great that the barrier to entry is so much lower than it ever was, but because of that, you have to be so much more, like you said, on, but also bring something different to the table, and that's hard. And that's really difficult.
Might get half a second, if that, not even half. I shouldn't say half a second, half a minute. Like, you might get 15 to 30 seconds of someone's attention, and if you don't grab them in that time,
exactly,
they're probably never going to come back.
No, totally.
And like, for us, this is a hobby.
Yeah.
When we used to live stream, it was novel when we would get more than like 5 people.
Yeah.
And if we had like
fine.
2 or 3 messaging in the chat, that was huge, and we were super happy with it.
Absolutely.
I cannot imagine, though, your livelihood. Like, one of the biggest things for me is, like, yes, you get to do this quote-unquote dream job, but you ain't got a 401k. We're living in America if you're doing this here, so that's health insurance. I can't even begin to imagine the nightmare that is.
when you're independent or you're not able to get on like a spouse's or something like that.
Exactly. I can't even begin to imagine how fucking scary that can be.
It ain't easy being cheesy.
And like, again, you have to be on. You have one bad day, right?
Oh yeah, and that's
and like you have something where, and I'm not saying this is okay or it's right, but like say you snap at somebody. Someone says something in the chat and you snap.
Yeah.
Then that's suddenly you.
I was about to say
that's sudden. Like, I have a bad day at work, and not that this has happened, but if I were to have a bad day at work, I'm just in a shitty mood.
Yeah.
Then people at work are gonna go, well, he's in a shitty mood.
Yeah,
today.
leave him alone today. Yeah, exactly.
Whereas you're in a shitty mood and you're streaming, and you pop off to somebody, and this is your livelihood. Well, suddenly, that's it. Like. The fact that so many factors, like, again, you and I, we go to our jobs, we come home, we know what our fucking paycheck is going to be, or we have a good idea of what the paycheck is going to be.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Some of my YouTube friends have talked about how, like, man, like, it's January. Really nervous about January because January is when all the ad stuff goes way, way, way down. And how I cannot imagine the stupid anxiety that I already have in my life on the most trivial fucking things. I cannot imagine there just being massive points in your income where you just don't know if you're gonna make the fucking bills.
Yeah.
Like, because you can't predict it. And you're not gonna know until you put out a video or you do a stream or whatever, and then, oh no, I'm not making enough money, so I have to work even more.
It's insane just how much or how little you really do make on that. Because, like, you know, our buddy does the music channel, and he's doing really well. I think he's like close to 7K subs now. I know that's kind of small, you know, in the grand scheme of things, but you know, for somebody I know that has that following, that's fucking huge. I know you got like 2.5, I think, and to have that following already, to me is just I think it's very impressive, and it takes a while, and you know, or you know, sometimes it just takes one really really good video that landed at the right place, right time kind of thing. But he's got that. He's got one video that's like well over 200,000 views, and that's like the video that kind of keeps making him good money. But then I say that, and like he's got a shit ton of videos at this point, and most of them, he's got enough viewers now where most of them hit well over 2K. You know, every now and then he's got a dud video in there, but that just happens, right?
Yeah.
But most of his videos, I think, usually hit over 2K. He's got several in the 10 to 20Ks, and then he's got that other one it's well over, like, it's like 200K. I think it's doing so well. Even with all that, he maybe gets $100 a month from the ad revenue.
I'm kind of shocked it's that high.
Yeah, no, like, but I think that, like, for people to make that a daily thing, and like, he only does one video a week, so I get that too. There are people that make literally videos every day because that, again,
or
like
they live stream every single day.
It's their livelihood, so that's what they do. They have to, and that was the other thing I was going to say. I know you keep on saying, you know, you got to be on, you got to be, you know, make sure you say the right things. Think about how many people, and like, I'm sure it's happened multiple times. I think actually PewDiePie got in trouble for, didn't he say the N-word or something?
Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah.
So like, people like,
that's what I was saying is like that.
If people say the wrong fucking thing, and I'm not. let's preface it by saying, like, obviously it's the wrong fucking thing. Like, you know, fucking understand the you know, just decency and discrepancy of what the fuck is not okay, and whatever. I know our channel and our followers, I think, are generally in agreement with us of you know what, and like, I get it. I say some like stupid, you know, I have bad takes and shit like that, but I'm not.
We both
like,
have.
I'm not about to go out and fucking, you know, spout off racial slurs to fucking somebody just because I'm upset at a video game. That's fucking awful.
That's the thing too, though, is with him in particular, That one I won't even say is an off day sort of thing. He let that slip so casually that it was one of those deals where it's like, okay, so this is totally something you say normally when the camera's off.
See, and then, yeah, and yeah, then you have that whole thing, and now there's even more that you have to kind of like wonder about. And I guess maybe this is the part that's kind of weird for me, is knowing that, because that didn't actually hurt him that much, did it, in the grand scheme of things?
In the grand scheme, it hurt the entirety of the YouTube community more than it actually hurt him.
So there you go.
Because that was ultimately what led to, I believe, the Wall Street Journal reaching out to Maker, who is owned by Disney, and saying, why do you allow this? And then they reached out to like McDonald's and some of the legitimate advertisers that used to be on YouTube and said, hey, are you cool with this guy dropping racial slurs when you're running ads in front of it?
Did he have... Or are you talking about when... Okay, so McDonald's just ran... just like general display ads.
Right.
That would be caught up by anybody. Got it. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's
not
why...
Not that he had an affiliate.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
And that's why you didn't see that anymore. So Maker wound up dropping him, and it totally sent the YouTube ad algorithm. Like, that's why they made so many fucking changes and shit, because YouTube ads are worth fucking nothing now, because no real legitimate company really advertises often on YouTube. There's some, but there's a reason why the majority of the ads that I get on like YouTube mobile, because I refuse to pay for any kind of like premium or any of that crap.
Yeah.
The ads that I get are at this point almost entirely fake AI mobile games.
There's a lot of those.
There's a lot.
Or like a local roofing company.
Like that is, well, see, that I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Because that's like local ad TV, but I have my location stuff turned off so they don't ever know where the hell I am.
Sure. Okay.
And that's part of the reason why it's just like, fuck, this guy watches, I don't know, video games and Red Letter Media and like what, I don't know, maybe he likes titties. We'll show him this. And then there's this real...
Hey, we got 50-50 chat that he likes titties.
Yeah, it's like... and it's this awkward thing of, boss, I'm going to change my clothes. And then... I don't know.
Oh my god, those like weird 3D
rendered
things that are like... Remember that one I sent where the lady like...
Oh, that one's the... Okay,
farts
never
and opens her umbrella?
They're never that strange, but they're like that. They're in that same kind of vein.
Oh, that shit was fucking awesome.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
No, yeah.
It's just crazy to me too, because like when okay, so going back a little bit here, we were talking about things that YouTubers like that sometimes are in a lot of like video essay stuff that are cliche, basically.
Sure.
The one that I try to avoid more than any other is when I was a kid, like when I would write a script and stuff, because I'm guilty. All the shit that you can say that like is overused,
so, yeah.
I guarantee you I've used it. That in particular is the one that really, really got old and bugs the shit out of me.
I lean on it too much too. I try to catch myself more and more,
But I say that because when I was a kid, when I was a little boy. Listen, never saw the adults only rating from the ESRB. AO.
Oh, yeah.
I can think of one game.
That's a good point. Yeah.
War Gods on the Nintendo 64. I never played it. I still haven't played it. As far as I know, it's just like a shitty fighting game from Midway. It's on Nintendo 64. It was in the arcades. I think that's got an adults only rating. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But like that was just, you never saw that. Sure. Now it's different because like I think Nintendo's cracking down on it again, but there for a while on Nintendo and still on Steam, there's like a big market now for porn games, or maybe there always has been and I just didn't know.
Those what were those like visual narratives? But
Yeah,
they're
the
like,
visual novels.
Yeah.
Because there are visual there's plenty
Dating
of visual
sims,
novels
yeah.
that aren't, and like even dating sims, there's ones that aren't like
There's ones that aren't
explicit.
Yeah, but there are definitely some.
But that's
even the ones that aren't definitely do a lot of fan service though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I because what usually comes to mind for me is like, oh, well, Phoenix Wright, that's a visual novel, and I used to love that series. I haven't played it in a long time because I'm a Neanderthal that doesn't read anymore, and that's literally all you do in those games is fucking read.
Reading.
But it's good. It's all, it's good reading, but like, yeah, there are little points that you're totally right, where it's like, here's a character where there's very little left in the imagination about them, so to speak.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But
adults only rating.
yeah, that was just something that you never saw. And now some of those AI ratings or those AI ads that I'll get for these mobile games,
Yeah.
they start with that. Front and center, it has, and I know they're using it illegally, but front and center, boom, there it is. The adults only rating. That's how the ad begins. And it's so weird.
Really?
It's so fucking weird to see. What?
The president?
I don't know what to say to that.
He was the one that liked peanuts, right? Damn. Well, folks, you heard it here first. Whenever this episode airs, former President Jimmy Carter is no longer alive. Many would argue he wasn't for quite some time. Carson's wife, Courtney, in the other room is saying, "This is what I was saying the whole time. He's been dead. A walking corpse." Oh, I had to fill him in. Well, there you go. She just said sorry to interrupt, but that was important.
You know what? I think that's how we should end the episode.
You know what? Yeah. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of
Jimmy Carter's nuts.
Jimmy Carter's gone. Ads are forever ingrained into our psyche. And
Jimmy's friend Peanuts.
Bro, April Fool's episode?
Jimmy's friend
Peanuts.
Okay, that's enough.
That's it. Bye.
Bye.